again to another episode of Girl, Who Don't You Know? Yes, I'm Marilyn Green, the hostess with the mostest. And I am so happy that you join us today because the whole purpose of Girl, Who Don't You Know is to transform your mind one show at a time. So this month, for the whole month, I have put together a theme of pink voices. I love it myself, so you don't have to say you like it. I just love it myself, and it's about breast cancer awareness month. And I can strongly say that God put it upon my heart to do it every week. I think only week that I'm not going to do it is going to be the last weekend, but nevertheless, I'm going to get the voices of the survivors and the thrivers out here with their own unique stories of how they had to journey and battle such an ugly, ugly disease. So we all know that everybody's been affected by breast cancer some kind of way. It's an aunt, an uncle, a mother, a father, okay, a brother. It could be anybody. So this right here, this show right here is about a person who is going to tell you her story. So she is here with us now. Her name is Janis Barnes. Janis Barnes, can you wave at us, please? Hi, Janice. How are you?
Hey, Marilyn, how are you? So happy to be here.
So happy that you're here. So we will jump right into it. Janice Barnes, you are here because you are a survivor, a thriver. And my last guest said she was a perpetual overcomer. So I'm going to throw that on you too. So tell us about you, a little bit about you and what you're doing now.
So, what I'm doing now, as you know, I'm a pastor of an amazing church. And I do that along with, I work another full time job at a corporation that's here in Texas. I'm a student. I'm working on MDiv. So I'm a mom, of four adult children, but I am just working really hard. I thank God because I know He has given me life and He's given me another chance to be able to not just survive, but to thrive in this life that He's given me. So each and every day that I wake up, I give Him praise. I thank Him because I know it could have went another way.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Pastor and everything else. Okay. I think that's great. So, hey, so I know that you battled breast cancer. Tell us, I think you wrote down here for me, you said mammograms saved my life. Talk about that because it's all about moving people to go get screened. Okay. So
Yes.
tell us about this. Tell us that story.
So actually, some years ago, one of my best friends, she went for a mammogram and hadn't gone before. By the time she went, she actually was at stage 4 breast cancer. And she said to me back then, I think I probably was in my 30s, early 30s, early to late 30s. She said, "Have you gone to get your mammogram?" I hadn't yet.
Okay.
She said, "Go." And so from that moment on, I've always gone. And usually, my mammograms come out great. This one particular time, I should have known something was going on because my regular primary physician, she called me and she said, they want you to come back. She's so sweet. She's like, probably not anything serious. And so anyway, I go back because, with my insurance, I had already went, that was covered, but now I'm going back for something else. It was a whole different thing financially. So I'm like, oh, and then no, we'll work with you. Right. And so anyway, this time after they did the mammogram, a doctor comes in
Mm.
and he says, well, we need to do some more testing. Then he says, are you here by yourself?
Oh.
And I'm like, yes. Well, that was the beginning of my journey. He said from that point, You're going to have to get a biopsy. And so, went for that. They called me, I think, the next day
Okay.
to say that they did find cancer.
Mhm.
Um, and so I say breast cancer saved my life because I had no signs, no lumps, no pains, no nothing.
Wow.
And at the time when they found it, was considered what's considered early. But even in the early stage, I still had to have a mastectomy because how far it had already spread.
Wow.
And so that was a whole nother thing,
Mhm.
right? Dealing with the idea of having a mastectomy, losing a body part. I'm a
Yes,
woman.
yes, yes.
I never realized I was connected to that body part until that moment, right? And to be honest, when I found out, really good surgeon that I had, she sent me to a specialist, and the specialist confirmed that day that yes, that that I would have to have the mastectomy. I went in my car and I cried.
Right. So, Janice, let me ask you
And
this really quick. Has anyone else in your family ever experienced this? Meaning, is there a history? Is there a history?
so actually, yes. I live in Texas right now, but my family, everybody is out east.
Hmm.
One of my cousins, so I'm close to my family. We're close knit. Called my cousins to let them know, pray, and all of that. Another cousin, she and I are a year apart in age.
Hmm.
She was just diagnosed like 2 or 3 weeks prior to me. Breast cancer, same breast, everything.
Wow.
So we pretty much went through the journey together,
Wow.
right? And one of her sisters, who's older than us, she had a bilateral mastectomy 2 years before us. Now, of course, because of all of that, they did testing on her, on me, because it sounds like it's genetic,
Hmm.
but the results came back said it wasn't.
Okay.
I don't know. Both of our mothers were sisters,
Okay.
so we're all first cousins.
Oh, wow. So,
So you asked that question,
yeah,
you
I
know,
would say, and I think about it, people always say, is it in your family? It had to start somewhere, so it might be starting with you all to be in your family.
yeah.
You never know.
And so that's why we're sharing with all of the generations,
Mhm.
definitely that's coming after us, go get tested. Daughters, cousins, go get tested because obviously it's somewhere in our family now anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said it was no symptoms, no this, that. So was it on the radiograph, the X-ray, they showed the mass, but you could not feel it. Is that?
I could not feel it. And so, Marilyn, that's so important,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because, we're taught, when we're in the showers to
Yes.
feel, for lumps and all of that. So some women may feel like, well, I don't feel anything, you know, I don't have to go.
Hmm.
It's super important to go, right? And I believe, and even though it was considered early, it had already spread enough that they still had to remove a breast, so it's important to go. And that's why I say that going to get my mammogram, that saved my life. I can't imagine what would have happened if I had not gone. And that was for my routine. I was doing it every year.
Wow.
I was going every year. And so that's why I just thought, oh, it'll be like every other year. So that says something too.
Yeah, that.
Just because you're having, clean mammograms doesn't mean that you're exempt from getting breast cancer.
And you're right. So for me, I had I'll say a scare opportunity to just show how big my God was. That's what I had in
Mm.
2003. I think it was 2003, and it was just at the time when my oldest son was. I think he was graduating from college. One was graduating from high school. It was a whole lot of things. Getting married, or it was just a whole bunch of things going on. And I knew then, I said, no, 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 no. As they say, as my last guest says, it's not a sickness unto death. Okay. It was nothing. But here's the part that got me the most. And this is the part, the reason why I bring on breast cancer survivors and thrivers every year is because I remember the horror. I remember the part of how I was so afraid, even though I was a faith woman, I was so afraid that I got the biopsy on Friday. I had to wait that whole weekend.
The weekend.
And it was like,
Hmm.
what, so I know how I felt, right? And I know, and it came out to be benign, and they put a little metal tracker or something in there,
Hmm.
and now they said, well, you ain't got to come every year. I said, no, I'm coming every year without insurance or with insurance. I'm going
Yeah.
to do what I need to do in order, because today was the day I was going to get my mammogram, but some kind of way they messed up the appointment. So I am definitely going to get it. And I go to the same place every time because I want to make sure the calibration, okay, of what they do, or if they change something or whatever, it's the same machine or whatever. I go to the same place every time. But all I'm saying, all this
Exactly.
to say that what I felt was too much, okay? And I got a benign. So what you felt and you got malignant, okay? How did you handle the mental part of that? You said you went to your car and cried. How did you do this to get past
So
all of
definitely through prayer.
that?
One of the things that God told me through the whole journey was to be still and know that I am
Oh,
God.
wow.
I saw that scripture or scriptures, right? Almost everywhere I went.
Oh, wow.
Almost so the day that I went to the car and cried, before I even called anybody, one of my sons, he called me and he said, Mom, now I get things, in the mail or whatever. For some reason that day, he said, you got something in the mail package. Do you want me to open it? This literally is, I'm there in the car crying.
Right.
I'm like, okay. I didn't, tell him what was going on. He said, it's a t-shirt. The t-shirt says, be still and know that I am
Oh,
God.
come on, Janice. No.
I knew at that moment that everything was going to be all right.
Wow.
I received journals, like people were giving me things and they didn't know, but I knew that it was God that would have that message. I have a bracelet on right now, that same son. After a while, I just started letting everybody know that
Right.
that's what God was telling me through this journey. And it says the same thing, be still and know that I am God.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And so that's why I said every morning when I wake up, I know that he's giving me another opportunity to do things for him, to be a blessing to others. And he still reminds me in all the busyness, sometimes, girl, you need to sit down somewhere,
Sit
be
down.
still, remember that I am God.
That's right.
That's what carried me through.
Okay. And I also had the opportunity, so everybody knows, full disclosure, to see Janice and her cousin, right? See her
Yes,
cousin,
yes.
Mildred and Margaret. I
Margaret.
keep calling her Mildred. Oh, and I said it out loud. Oh, tell her do not call me. Anyway,
She will.
I know. Oh, I might have to edit this out. Yeah. But anyway, but anyway, I know that she was telling me how she helped you. So loved ones came to your rescue, if you will, to help
Yes.
you. What did that
So,
look like? What did that look like? I mean, did you, because we have to look at who we were before this, okay? And it seems to me from all the different jobs and things like you're self-sufficient. Okay. So having someone to come in and to help you, okay, how did you do that? How did you allow yourself to let go enough to say, I do need help?
it's interesting that you say that because family definitely did support. Remember, I said I had another cousin that was, physically, in Maryland where all the rest of the family
Mm-hmm.
was. And so they were rallying around her. And then they said, well, somebody needs to come with me.
Okay.
So I went through several surgeries and, all of that kind of thing. Um, and actually, when I actually had the mastectomy, one of my nieces came and stayed for 3 weeks. So, mind you, when I was diagnosed, it was the beginning of 2018.
Okay.
The end of 2017, October 2017, I went and got my mother, who was still in Maryland, and brought her to live with me in
Oh,
Texas.
okay.
So I literally, and she was up in age, I literally had just gotten mom to come live with me
Mm.
so I could take care of her. And then beginning of the next year, I'm diagnosed with breast cancer. And so that's where I'm like, okay, God, so what's going on here? Because really the only thing that I knew, the friend that I told you all about, she, God ended up taking her home with him.
Oh,
And so the only thing I knew about breast cancer really was that people didn't make it, to be honest.
yes.
And so my youngest child at that time was like eighth or ninth grade.
Oh,
So I had him on one hand, I had mom on the other hand. What happens if I'm gone? That's exactly, so I said, okay, God, what's going on? And that was before he started showing me to be still
wow.
and know that I am God. I'm going to take care of it. So my niece came for 3 weeks. When I had I think it was the reconstruction surgery, that's when my cousin Margaret, that's when Margaret came.
Okay.
And I think, I'm trying to remember, she stayed maybe over a month. I can't remember, but it was a while.
Mm-hmm.
And what that looked like when both of them came, they took care of not just me, they took care of my mom, right? The family had, my son was in school, and they cooked, they cleaned, went to the grocery store. And for me, by the time Margaret came, I think I had gotten used to getting help.
Okay.
But when my niece came, I remember one time she looked at me and she said, Aunt Janice, I have this. You need to go sit down,
Go
right?
sit down. She said, go sit down somewhere.
Because and what
Yes.
happened was, you know, I it looked like they weren't doing things as fast as I thought that they should.
Okay.
So me with drains and all of that still connected, I'm getting up and I'm cleaning or I'm doing stuff. And yeah, you you need to go sit down. I wasn't used to that. I'm divorced, been a single parent for a long time. So I'm used to being in control and taking care of everything and taking care of everybody. I didn't know how to let somebody take care of me.
Oh,
So I had to learn that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we all have to learn that. We are superheroes for real. African American women, that's a whole nother topic. We superheroes. We
Mhm.
gonna get it done.
Mhm.
Okay, we gonna get it done.
Right.
And guess what else we got a problem with? Can't nobody do it better than us. Okay. And so that ain't
That
nobody
part.
better than us is what keeps us saying, I can do this, even though I'm dragging drains and bags and I'm hurting. I'm crying, I'm still trying to be in there. And I know that had to be like, oh my God, I gotta go sit down. I gotta go sit down. So in your sitting down, okay, what else was God telling you? He wasn't just saying be still and know that I'm God. He had to be telling you some other things because he wanted to give you some things. So when you do come out on the other side, what did
Mhm.
he tell
Mhm.
you that you can share?
So not only did I have my niece and my cousin, my children, I had, three children that were adults
Mm-hmm.
um, at the time, and God used them as well, right? My daughter had just finished a graduate degree at Morgan State University. She graduated, she came home. My oldest son was in Michigan, so everybody dropped what they were doing
Oh.
and they came, right? So family rallied around. So God spoke to me through that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't know before, but how important family was. And he also showed me that they are adults. They can do for themselves as well,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You don't have to do
Yes.
everything. So that also set me up for coming out on the other side. He was, because at that time I wasn't a pastor yet.
Okay.
At that time I was, and for years I was a good, I'm going to say, associate
Okay.
or assistant pastor to other pastors, would do everything, but God was preparing me. He taught me during that time about self care.
Oh,
So remember, that was 2018, 2019. That was before 2020 when everything was shut down and people were talking about self care and all of that. He had already showed me that,
okay, okay. I knew he
right?
showed you something. I knew it. Okay, go on.
He also showed me the importance of mental health,
Wow.
right? Because and taking care of everybody else, I made sure, the others went to their therapy and all of that. I had never had therapy for myself. And so that was one of the things that I ended up, seeking a therapist. Yes, a pastor seeking out
That's
therapy,
right.
right?
That's right. That's right.
Because guess what? When you think about mental health, I was going through something physical. And so I went to a doctor, a surgeon. Why not take care of what's going on mentally to get you through?
Right.
What's the difference?
Right.
Because, that's another segment for you
That's
too,
it.
right?
That's it. That's it.
it,
I'll do
it
that in
in our
May. I'll do that
culture,
in May. Okay, but mental
right?
health.
About mental health, how important that is.
That's exactly
So to
right.
take care of everything, so during that season, God was taking care of the mind, the body, and the spirit
Okay.
all together.
Wow. Wow. So let me ask you this, and I haven't. I mean, I wanted to know this. Okay, that's why I'm asking. But listen, when you had to get the mastectomy, all right, looking in the mirror at yourself, what happened?
For a while, I couldn't look. I couldn't look, right? One of my dear sisters in Christ here, who is, she's also a minister. She gave me a book. I think it's over here somewhere. Here it is. She gave me a book that said, "Your scars are beautiful to God."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so, I mentioned that I got reconstruction, but the scars are still there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, after a while, what God showed me was that's a reminder of not only what I went through, but that I went through and I didn't stay there.
That's right. That's right.
And that's a message for anything that we go through,
Exactly.
that we go through it
Exactly.
and we don't stay there.
Exactly.
Amen. That God's going to bring us through it.
Mhm.
And so that was one of the things that he showed me. Now, I went from never having any kind of tattoos or anything like that.
Uh-oh, let's go. Let's
Yes.
go.
To on that particular so anybody that knows me knows I love butterflies. I
Okay.
love
Okay,
butterflies.
I do
I
too.
love what they mean. I love the fact that they're caterpillars and they go through a struggle, the whole
That's
metamorphosis
it.
process, and then they come out beautiful. And that's what I saw, right? Everything that I went through, God allowed me to come out beautiful.
Wow.
And so I got a tattoo on that particular breast. So not only do I have the scar, but I have the tattoo of the butterfly. The colors of the butterfly are my mother's favorite color. Mom was still here, but now she's gone. My sister, my only sister, passed years ago. Her favorite color, her daughter's favorite color, my daughter's favorite color, and mine. And the body of the butterfly is a pink breast cancer ribbon to always remind me of what God did.
Oh, wow. So you went from not want to look at it, but and don't mind looking at it now. That's what happened.
Yes.
That's what happened.
Yes,
Oh
ma'am.
my
And
God.
that's what God will do, won't he? He
Yes.
will do that. Yes.
Yes. That's so exciting. So let me
Yes.
ask you this here. So we know who you were, who you are now. Okay.
Mhm.
What would you say your mindset is? I see in the back there you say I choose joy. Okay. I see that and
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm.
Who are you today for real? Who are you?
So who I am today, I know that I'm stronger because of, what I went through. Is everything easy? No. This life is not easy. Jesus said that in the Bible, right? In this life, you're going to have some trials and tribulations. But he also said, be of good cheer.
That's right.
I've already overcome them. And so, because of that, that's why each day when I wake up, I choose
I
joy,
choose it.
right?
Yeah.
I choose joy. Um, I look at things different because, again, like I said before, it could have gone another way. But God chose to keep me here because He has a plan and a purpose
Right.
for my life. And so I'm excited about life today. I'm excited, even when things don't go the way that I think. My prayer is, God, what is your will? What is your will for me? I don't take it lightly that He decided to keep me here. Um, so who I am today is someone who's stronger, someone who chooses joy, and someone who's happy about life.
Wow. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. So, my last question is this. What would you tell someone who is just starting the journey? I'll say the journey, just got diagnosed. What would you tell them right now if you were their counselor and you just gave them they just found out the news? They come to you as a pastor, then, as a pastor, as a survivor, as a thriver. What would you tell them that would really help them to move through this?
So, it's funny that you say that because I since then God has used me to speak to lots of people,
Oh.
whether it be different groups. I also have a Facebook um, group page, breast cancer survivors, where I talk to people, and usually what I tell people they're just getting into. Number one, usually they're scared.
Hmm.
I share with them resources that are out there for support, to tap into what support that's out there for them.
Hmm.
There are a lot of groups that are, believe it or not, online. You don't even have to go out your house. I'm a mentor to different people
Oh,
now,
really?
because of that. So God took me to a whole different arena of women, of people who before I could minister to them, but I think they listen more because they can identify that I've gone through that same journey as well. And so the first thing I tell them is um, make sure they go to their appointments. Um, Even though they may be afraid, like I said, share resources. And of course, I'm going to say pray,
Yes.
right? And then I'm there for them if they want to talk, if they want to cry, and let them know it's okay
Hmm.
to do those things. Also, talk about, the journey, like you said, the doctor is going to talk about what their plan of treatment is. So I kind of go through
Okay.
what could happen. Everybody's journey is not the same though. And I let them know that too.
Hmm.
Right. Because even though I've had two other cousins that went through it, one had a bilateral mastectomy, so she lost both breasts. The other one, she had a lumpectomy. And so and that's the other thing. Everybody's choice or decision. I tell them don't question the decision that you make
Wow.
for your
Now
body.
that's kind of powerful right there. Don't question the decision that you make for your
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
Wow. Because they can be like, did I make the right decision? Did
Yes,
I
ma'am.
mean, the self doubt or and that's wrapped up in fear of if I
Hmm.
get it
Hmm.
wrong, I might go down to a different rabbit hole. How about that?
Yeah.
And so they
Yeah.
get really nervous about that. But that's another thing. I mean, if we talk about pray for not having
Hmm.
self doubt, not having an
Yeah.
unstable mind. A double minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Hmm.
That's the word.
Hmm.
So therefore, just to get that prayer of saying, "Hey, I just want to be sure
Hmm.
the things the decisions that I'm going to make for my own body." Right? So yeah, that would
Hmm.
be good to tell them that. What else? Is there anything else that you like to tell
And so I got to, and I'm very transparent with them,
them?
right?
Hmm.
I got to that point because actually 2 years ago, the breast that I do have left had to get the biopsy. Was going to go through that
Are you
same thing,
serious?
and so I questioned why didn't I get both of them done? And God showed me you made the best decision for that moment. Don't
Oh
question it.
wow, that's powerful, right?
So thank God. That one was benign,
Mhm.
right? That was benign. But again, so whatever decision that woman chooses to make, don't take it lightly. Pray about it. If you have to, get a second opinion.
Right.
But all of that,
That
yeah,
sounds really good. It's been a joy having you here. I see you choose joy, but I mean, it's a joy having you here because this is a very delicate subject,
it
And
is.
when it comes to women or men, I got all women on here,
Men
but
can
I
get
know
it
it's a
too.
men.
Men can get it too.
It's just about a body part having
Hmm.
cancer. That's what it is. But we always put the pink with the women, and so that's where it is. But it's men out there as well. So my thing is this: that the biggest thing that I would like to get across to women and men is to go get screened. Okay,
Go get
go,
screened.
please just
Yes.
go get screened so you can save a life. And as they say, if you don't do it for yourself, please do it for a loved one. Okay. And
Yes.
and don't
Yes.
don't be selfish and saying, oh well, I'll get it done, I'll get it done, I'll get it done. You don't get it done. By the time you get it done, it's too late per se. And then how you gonna feel then? So you have to do it for your loved one. So that's my little spiel on it. But Janice, it has just been a joy to have you, like I said. And I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come and share with my audience of Girl Who Don't You Know. And I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you've come out on the other side. And I know I've been around you. Your spirit is great. I just appreciate you greatly. So yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Marilyn. From the time that we first met, we hit it off,
Yes,
and I just thank God for you. Thank you for this opportunity,
sure.
and I just believe that this platform is going to take off even further. I shared that with you. Um, I'm talking about your
I
platform,
receive
but
it.
I thank God for this opportunity. Thank you for thinking about me.
Yes, of course. All right, then. So we have really had a great person on, Janis Barnes. I got that right. And her cousin Margaret, who's gonna get me. I'm sorry, Margaret, please. But at any rate, we will sign off for now. And next time, please come back for our next episode. And when you see this, please go and follow me, subscribe. I would love to have you to see all of my guests coming up because I got some really good women that's coming up on Pink Voices for the month of October. And I like to share that with you. So until next time, you guys have a super fantastic day. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Marilyn.
Bye bye.